So recently, people have been doing tier lists for Melee. I think it was brought on because someone named I forget his name, Michael Radar, or like Micro Melee, whatever his name is. He brought up on a podcast recently that we haven't had an official tier list since, like, our most recent Melee tier list that's like the official tier list is from 2015, and I'm gonna show that on screen right now. This is that tier list from 2015. So it goes like Fox at number 1, Falco at number 2, Marth at number 3, Sheik is number 4, Puff is 5. You know, pretty. I don't know. I guess that was the meta then. Peach is number 6. Icy's number 7. Captain Falcon is number 8. Pika's number 9. Samus is number 10. You know, and then it gets into the mid tiers, the low tiers, which I think most people, like, you know, they don't change that much. But it's interesting to think about, like, so since, like, that was brought up, a lot of people have been submitting tier lists, like posting tier lists on Twitter, but there's also like an actual submission survey for tier lists. I could bring it up. I could show it on Twitter. Yeah, so Practical Tasks brought this up. Where is it? Where is it? Okay, so yeah, there's this like survey where you submit your tier list. Like, you submit literally each number, and I already submitted mine, but I already changed my mind about a couple things since I submitted mine. But yeah, so everybody's doing tier lists on Twitter now. Leffen's done one. Well, he did a joke one. Zane did one, and then Leffen did one that was like a prank where he basically copied Zane's and just to see what people's responses would be. He wanted to see what the difference in responses would be. I think, you know, some people definitely have biases towards Zane or like against Leffen or something. It's not really relevant to this, but it was just a funny thing. There was a few other people who did tier lists, like IBDW, Bobby Big Balls. I guess that means I have to do a tier list. Like, I've been kind of been wanting to anyway, because it's kind of like easy content in my eyes. Like, you just do a video of a tier list and then you get views. You get people talking. Everybody's arguing about characters right now. It's great. It's great, and it's also terrible. I'm personally... Toph's made a really good point about this, in that it is so late into Melee's game that tier lists aren't really that important anymore, because we kind of all like know who the best characters are. We all know who the mid tiers are. We all know who the low tiers are. There's not like much reason to have a tier list or to have like new tier lists other than to make little specifications about what's going on in the meta, which is fine. But I mean, a lot of people aren't into it. Let's see, None did a tier list. Here it is. He did this tier list, which is really funny. Oh, you can't see part of it. Well, anyway, it just says, dude, just play the game and stop caring about tiers. And that's like almost every character. And then it says, okay, maybe not these ones. And it's just Bowser and Pichu. And below that it says, or don't play, and there's no characters. You can't see that because I'm in the way. My webcam's in the way. But it was just a funny thing. I like a joke tier list like that. It makes a point, you know, like the Melee community, fighting game communities in general take tier lists a little too seriously, I think. It's not worth starting Flame Wars over. Like, it's better to just play the game. Just play the game, play the characters you like. You know, maybe don't play the worst characters in the entire game, but like, you do you. Do what you want, have fun, or compete, or take it seriously, or not. That's all good. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about the history of tier lists. So, like, this one's from 2015, right? There have been tier lists for the Melee community all the way back since October 8th, 2002. So that's almost a year after Melee came out. Melee came out like late 2001. The very first Melee tier list had Sheik at number 1. And I love this because, like, I'm a Sheik main. I know for a fact that Sheik isn't necessarily number 1, but back then Sheik was considered number 1. It was Sheik, Falco, Fox, Marth, and then Mario at 5th. Zelda at 6th. It was definitely a different time. But I do find it interesting that Sheik was number 1. Like, the first tier list, the second tier list. Wait, what? I guess there were 2 second tier lists? That doesn't make sense. But, like, she was number 1 all the way to the 7th tier list, and then on the 8th tier list, she moved down to number 3, and then Fox became number 1. I just find that cool and interesting, like, Melee history. There have been a lot of different tier lists, and some of them definitely have some bad takes. Like, Mewtwo at last is a garbage take. And these are the official tier lists, where there's, like, no excuse for having bad takes. But the thing about tier lists, and even with the official tier lists, is there's always going to be bias. Like, tier lists, the official ones come from surveying the community. And, like, every tier list ever made is made by somebody, you know, and everybody is going to have bias. I'm going to have biases. I want to preface my tier list making with the fact that I am very biased because I'm a Sheik player, I play Marth, I mess around with other characters, and, like, my perspective of the game is from that, you know, position. But I try and look at it as objectively as I can. I definitely... The thing is like, I'm not a top player. I should preface this by saying that. Like, I'm not a top player, I'm not a ranked player, I'm not really, like, a good Melee player. I'm someone who plays Melee, and I'm very observant, and, you know, I listen to what everybody has to say, and I make my own judgments, and, you know, I'm constantly changing my mind about everything in this game, and it's kind of beautiful that it has that range for a game that's basically 20 years old. I have done a tier list before, so I've been playing a Melee for a long time. I got into competitive Melee a couple years ago and started going to tournaments, and then, like, so last year I did my first, like, official, my own personal tier list, and it's right here on Instagram. I posted this on March 12th, 2020. Oh god, you can't see it. There's definitely some bias in this tier list, I think. I put Fox and Falco at the very top because I believe that they were just unbeatable because I couldn't handle them in bracket. From the perspective of Sheik, I didn't know how to play them at all. And yeah, I put Captain Falcon pretty low. I feel like that's a little bit of a hot take right there, just seeing Captain Falcon that low. But I mean, it's not super drastic. I put Zelda pretty high up. and Young Link. Young Link being that high up is very, like, I don't know. I've definitely changed a little bit of my views since this tier list. I think at this point I can get started on my new tier list. I don't have much more to say about this old one. I think my new one's gonna be a lot better. I have it all figured out. And here it is. We've got Sheik in S tier, and every other character in the bottom tier called trash, unordered. So yeah, that's my tier list, and please like and comment and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'll catch you next time. I'm just kidding. This is not my tier list. This is a meme tier list. I had to do a little joke in there. This is definitely not how I actually see the game. I just, I thought it'd be funny to be super biased. Here, I'm just gonna start putting characters up. So, Kirby, Ness, and Pichu, and Bowser. So these are like the worst characters, right? Personally, like, as much as I do believe these are the worst characters, I feel like we need to add a little bit of nuance to this. Because realistically, it gets worse. The worst character in the game, Bowser. I feel like I shouldn't even have to explain this, given the fact that even casuals, like, even when I played the game casually a million years ago, like, I knew, we all knew that Bowser was really, really bad. We all knew Pichu was bad too, but, like, everybody knew that Bowser was the worst. I feel like I always find it weird when I see tier lists where Bowser isn't the worst character in the game, because it's so, like, it feels objectively true. And I want to preface this by saying, too, with this tier list, that I don't hate any of these characters. In this game, I love every character in Melee. I love Melee. It's the sickest game ever, honestly. But, like, you have to, like, know when a character is flawed, and Bowser is as flawed as it gets. Like, he's just so slow, and none of his moves, like, are worthwhile. Like, like, you're just not gonna win with Bowser. 99% of the time, you're not gonna win with Bowser. You're not gonna do well with Bowser, like, at all. Yeah, like, I mean, arguably, like, yes, there are Bowser players. There's Bowser mains. There's always, like, low-tier mains. And I have full respect for low-tier mains, because they're heroes. Low-tier heroes is what they're called. And I know that there are Bowser mains, and I respect it, But when I see a Bowser main doing well in, like, a tournament match or something, I don't think, oh, Bowser's really got some stuff. That's not what I think. What I think is Melee is a really sick game, and that person is really sick at Melee. And even when Bowser does good, cool stuff, when Bowser's, like, on top of it, it just, like, what that means to me is that Melee is a sick game. Whenever Bowser or, like, any low tier does something really cool, it's not that the character's cool, it's that Melee is sick. Always remember, Melee is sick. Even with low tiers, it's sick. Some would argue even sicker with low tiers, because it's a challenge, right? So yeah, I'm going to do this from bottom to top. So right now we're at the worst character in the game. So then we move on to talk about these characters, because I made a point to separate them. You know, like, someone could argue that they're in the same tier as Bowser, but, like, personally, I don't think so. They're really bad characters. Like, I would describe them as very bad with a couple small things they can do. That's it. That's all they are. They're really, really bad characters, but they have a couple little things they can do. And it's what separates them from Bowser, in my opinion. Bowser just has nothing. He has, like, what, up B at a shield? Like, who cares about that? Like, you're not gonna do very well with those. Not that you're gonna do very well with these, but, like, these characters have, like, matchups they can potentially win in. At least Pichu does, I think. I don't know. The other thing about this tier list that I'm doing is it's not super ordered. Like, the way I see it is each tier just represents, like, a list or, like, a level to the characters. I don't really want to worry about, like, who's in what placement, because I don't feel like it's that important. Personally, I feel like people take that too seriously, like which placement a character is in, because it doesn't. I don't know. There's gonna be a couple I'm gonna bring up where it does kind of matter, but in those cases, like, I'll point it out. This one is a little bit ordered, I'll be honest. Got Link. And then this is where it gets kind of tricky. I do think Mewtwo is, like, up on this level. And so these are the characters that I would describe as, like, pretty big flaws. But they have stuff. I think that's the best way to describe it. Like, these are also pretty bad characters, but they're not quite as bad as the rest of these. These characters, they have things they can do. Mewtwo has some good moves. Link has some good moves. Roy has arguably good moves. Same with Zelda, same with Game & Watch. Like, they don't do quite as bad as most people expect. I think me putting Zelda this high is kind of a hot take, because I see that people do put Zelda, like, near the bottom, generally, but personally, from what I've seen from, like, you have to think about these characters at their most optimal, and I don't know, I've seen some stuff with Zelda. There's been a few Zelda players in the past who have, like, pushed the character and continue to push the character to this day. Most notably is Narcissa Wright. He used to play Zelda in Melee a lot, along with other characters. More recently, it's been Rianne. She's, like, the current best Zelda player. There's also the Lake, pretty good Zelda player. I don't know. Obviously, I don't think she's a good character, but I think she deserves to be next to Roy. So that feels right to me, based off of, like, I don't know, she's just got some stuff, like it says right there, like yeah, she is slow. She is definitely slow, but there are little things you can do to speed her up, like slide offs, platform slide offs, and shield dropping, and, like, there's just little things that speed her up. I think her roll is actually, like kind of good for a roll. I don't know. It's funny because her roll is faster than any of her other movement. So maybe that's why I think that. But she's got stuff. She's, of course, everybody knows she has a really good fair and a really good bear. She also has the fastest up smash, or not up smash, down smash. She has the fastest down smash in the game. I think that's pretty significant, even though it's not, like, the greatest move in general. She has, I believe up smash out of shield, if I'm not wrong. I don't know, I'm not like super knowledgeable, but I've watched enough Zelda and like I've seen enough to feel that like she has stuff. And it's kind of the same with these other characters. There's Game & Watches out there that will surprise you. There's obviously Zane. We know Zane did Roy. Has been pushing Roy pretty far. Not to say that Roy is good. I'm just saying like some of these characters have small levels of potential. Link, the only Link I know about is Save State, and they're a pretty good Link main. You should definitely look up Save State's combo videos with Link, because it blows my mind seeing Link just like hit himself with a bomb and then use that to like move the character over and then use that to hit the other characters. There's just all these crazy wacky combos. I guess you could describe these characters as like janky but with a little bit of style. And Mewtwo's exactly right there. And the next one, I would actually argue, and this is kind of a hot take, is Ganon. I think Ganon is pretty bad. And this is something that Toph was talking about recently on his stream, is that Ganon is actually kind of terrible. Lower, I think, like, he's a lot worse than people give him credit for. I think the reason he got as much credit as he has is because, one, he's Captain Falcon clone. M2K said that. I mean, I would agree that Pichu has some stuff. On the topic of Ganon, apparently Pichu beats Ganon in the matchup between them. I don't know this from personal experience, but it was something Toph was talking about. I think Pichu is just like a faster character, and that beats Ganon. And yeah, where I'm putting Ganon is definitely a hot take, but I was tempted to put him in the tier above, but I'll actually put, let's see. Yeah, the next tier is like Young Link, DK, who else? Mario. And I was really tempted to put Ganon in this tier. For a minute I was thinking that, and I honestly have a hard time deciding if Ganon's here or right here. Like, there's arguments for both for sure, but I do feel like Mewtwo and Ganon are like at the same level. So I'm pretty settled with putting Ganon there. And with this tier, what was I gonna call it? They're like, oh yeah, it's pretty okay but flawed. I think that's the best way to describe it. Like as low tiers go, like this is where it starts to get like kind of saucy. Like they kind of got stuff. Mario's got some chain grabs, I believe. DK's got chain grabs. Young Link has shown plenty of good results in the past with like Axe and Armada. I think they've earned this placement, these three. And I know it's kind of wild to see Young Link that far, like above regular Link, but he's just that much faster. I think he's a lot better of a character than regular Link. So, speaking of characters that I have a hard time deciding, the next one is Ice Climbers. This one, I could not decide if it was in this tier or the tier above. Obviously, I'm gonna make some more tiers up here. In fact, I'll just do that right now. Yeah, like, I was gonna put him up here with, like, you know, I was gonna put them up here with, like, you know, Pikachu and Samus and stuff, but, like, they don't quite fit there, personally. I don't know, Ice Climbers is a character that I don't know that much about, personally. I never play them. I have no experience with them. They're just, like, they're so weird. They're an anomaly, for sure. I don't really understand them, and I don't know how good they are without wobbling. So I think they just deserve their own tier. So yeah, let's move on to the next one. I already kind of spoiled that Pikachu, Samus, Yoshi, Luigi, and then Doc are up here. Yeah, that's definitely this next tier. This is where it gets really fun. This is where characters start to be actually fun to play. Like, I personally don't really play characters that are below this level. I mean, I do and I don't. Like, I've played Young Link a little bit. I've played a little bit of Kirby. I actually really enjoy Kirby. For how bad Kirby is, Kirby's a really fun character. I don't really play Ness that much, but I know how bad Ness is. Who else do I play? I've played a pretty reasonable amount of Zelda and Game & Watch. I don't know. But with these characters, I call this the good characters with some flaws. Like, these are the characters that you can reasonably see getting top 8s. I mean, obviously you can with Ice Climbers, but these characters are relatively consistent. Doc and Luigi, not so much. They're kind of at the lower end, but, like, I kind of see Pikachu, Samus, and Yoshi as, like, evenly interchangeable. Like, you could have it like this, or this, or this. This is just kind of how I place it. I think most people see it that way too. Most of the tier lists I've seen, like, most of the recent ones I've seen look like this. So I think, you know, it's a pretty good stance. I used to play Pikachu when I was a casual Melee player. I was a big believer in Pikachu though, because I knew about the competitive scene. I just didn't, you know, take it that seriously. But I know how good Pikachu really is, and I would have kept pushing the character, but I just thought, screw it, I'll switch to Sheik. That's just how I feel about it. I just wanted to play, like, a character that really fit me. Or not that fit me, but I wanted to play a character that I could get the best results with, and for me personally, it's Sheik 100%. I always get the best results with Sheik more than any other character. It's just how it is for me. But anyway, I'm gonna move on. So next we've got Falcon and Peach. Oh, I didn't mention before what the other reason that, like, people think Ganondorf is pretty good, besides him being a Captain Falcon clone, is the fact that Kage, like, and Nun both have pushed the character really far, but I don't think that makes Ganondorf himself that good. Like, having good players doesn't necessarily put you in the highest tiers. Arguably could be in the pretty okay tier. I'm still undecided about that. But I personally think he's down here next to Mewtwo, because Mewtwo also has stuff and can be pushed pretty far. Anyway, this is how I see it. Falcon and Peach definitely have proven themselves as characters. Captain Falcon is very fast. Like, he has a very fast running speed. He has a decent wave dash. He has really good aerial drift. Definitely really impressive character, and a really scary character when played by the right person. Or even with, like, not with like mid-level players and low-level players, Captain Falcon can be just like insane to watch. Many people place Captain Falcon higher than this. The only reason I don't place him higher is just because of a couple things. Like his aerials, they are good aerials, and his aerial drift helps, but like his actual moves, the aerials, they're kind of slow coming out. So like you always see Captain Falcon doing stomp, but the stomp doesn't come out like super fast. I think almost all of his aerials are like twice as slow as Sheik's aerials, for instance, which is a lot of why I consider Sheik to be a better character than Captain Falcon. That and the fact that he doesn't really have good tilts either. Captain Falcon doesn't really have good tilts, besides maybe forward tilt, but even that is kind of Also, like, he doesn't have very good smash attacks I don't know. I am biased because I play Sheik, so like all those moves feel just like infinitely slower to me. His tilts and his smash attacks and even his aerials, but like that doesn't make him a bad character. I mean, he's still a very good character who has gotten proven results. And honestly, with the way like players like Wizrobe and Nun play Captain Falcon, I could see him going up to the next tier. You know, it's just he has minor flaws. That's the best way to put it. I don't know as much about Peach, but she again has been proven to be very good by Armada and several other players. Triff, Ryubeat, everybody knows that Peach is good. She just has a couple minor flaws, being her like upwards. She doesn't go vertically very fast. I don't know, it's hard to get to like the top platform, for instance. A lot of people talk about this. A lot of what I'm saying is regurgitating things I've heard other people talk about, honestly. But she's still very good. Both these characters definitely are better than these characters, for sure. I used to kind of think that Pikachu was better than Falcon, but I've gained a lot more faith in Captain Falcon more recently. In fact, I think... Yeah, I had Captain Falcon pretty low on this list. But yeah, very good characters with minor flaws, and they definitely have the potential to be in the next tier, the top tier. They just, you know, they're not quite there, in my opinion. So the next character list is gonna be called the best characters in the game. So, and this one specifically, I am not ordering. I want to make that very clear. It's very much just like, I don't know. It could be any one of them. These characters have been optimized to an insane degree. They all five of these are the top five. Like all five of them have still so much to be pushed. Fox has stuff to be pushed. Marth obviously has stuff to be pushed. Sheik has a lot to be pushed. Personally, I think Sheik has potential to be the best character in the game if pushed like far enough. It's the same with all these. I don't rate Jigglypuff quite as high as a lot of other people do. Like, I don't know. I've played a lot of Puffs, and like, I think she's really good, but I think she's a little bit carried by Hungrybox. I don't feel like other Puff players have like pushed Puff to that, you know, big of a degree as HBox has, but like, still, I consider her one of the best characters in the game. I definitely don't think she belongs down here. She's definitely up here. it is really interchangeable with this list. Fox could be number one, Marth could be number one, Sheik could be number one, Falco could be number one. There's arguments for all five, and that's why I just call them the best characters in the game. Or I could call it the top five. Anyway, I think that looks about right. Again, I'm not really ordering this, but personally, I think this is where my bias really shows, but like, again, I think Sheik has so much potential that she could be anywhere from here to up here, but I'm not going to put her right there. Even though I say this is an unordered tier list, people are not going to like me putting Sheik up there. But I think she could be right here or whatever. Again, it's not ordered, but it's like, it's a tough call. But yeah, this is, I'm going to delete this one. This, I think, is definitively my tier list. I don't know, I just wanted to have like a color scheme to have it more separated. I basically view this like in terms of levels. Like, this is the top level, the levels go lower, and all these characters are like, all the characters in each tier are kind of on the same playing level. And that's why certain characters have their own tiers. I don't know, I felt like that was the more nuanced way to make this tier list, and I felt like adding I could have just had it where it was like S, A+, A-, but I felt like having the descriptive tiers. This is definitely my 2021 Melee tier list. And, yep, I'm gonna save it. Downloaded. So yeah, that's it. That's all I've got to say. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe and add a little comment. Tell me what I did that was wrong. Tell me what characters should be where. Tell me that Ganon should be up here, or that or I don't know, whatever you can think of. Just let me know what you think. And yeah, have a nice day.